morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is March the 4th, 2024, and today the topic is the courage to accept what is. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine, man. I had a beautiful, beautiful weekend. First, shout out to Miss Tiffany Teachy for inviting me, yes, yours truly, to be featured in a virtual conference. I was a part of a panel discussion and things of that nature, sharing my journey with STEM and things of that nature, sharing all about Matter Miraculous and what the Lord is doing. Um, Again, yeah, with me, for me, and through me, using this Character Matter Miraculous and I guess this platform of STEM. And so that went well. I mean, that's why I'm in my studio. Which studio is this? EF? I don't know. um, yeah, that's why my backdrop is different and whatnot. I figured I wouldn't be, promoting God, sex, and love in the STEM conversations. I had to, switch my studio up. But yeah, so that went well. Um, And then Saturday evening, man. So first of all, I think you guys may know that I went out to celebrate my sister's birthday, which is actually tomorrow. It'll be her 33rd birthday. So shout out to Nyla. Oh, it's your birthday eve. But yeah, man, we had an awesome time celebrating her over the weekend. She said she giving them the blues this year and stuff. So she's been wearing blue all weekend and whatnot. And so she requested that we wear blue, and I wore blue. Well, either blue or nude. And so I wore blue. Her bestie wore like a nude color. Her beau, we're gonna see what the Lord do, but he was kind of wearing blue as well. But anywho, so it was the four of us and whatnot. And so we went out to dinner at this place called Boxcar ATL. It was nice, nice vibes. Our waiter was nice, things of that nature. We all ended up getting the short rib. But listen, now, nothing against the short rib. It was good. It was a good meal. The only thing was like when somebody say ribs to me, I'm thinking something barbecue, and then you telling me it's gonna be braised short ribs. I'm sitting here thinking that it's going to be some type of savory, sweet sauce with some, you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe I didn't have braised wings too much. I don't know. But when they brought the pot roast, I was like, because that's pretty much what it tasted like. To me, it tastes like my first thought was like, this is giving me beef stew vibes. And then as I'm eating, I'm like, yeah, like a good pot roast with gravy or something. Like this doesn't give me braised short rib, but okay. Um, so so it was funny, or whatever, but at the same time, we enjoyed our meals and things of that nature. And then after that, man, we went to a place called Lot 23. I might be saying it wrong. It might be 25, but I think it's Lot 23. And we went to a perfume making class. Now the perfume making class was nice. It was nice vibes. We had a chance to meet some other people. We saw a couple that was on a date. There was a family, a mother and her two daughters, and then there was people making candles on the other end. We didn't get the chance to really get to know them because I guess they were there before us. But anywho, and so we were getting to know each other and stuff and making our perfumes and doing our scents and things like that. And I think I came up with a rather nice combination and creation. I noticed that the guy that was our lead, as well as the owner, they didn't switch up my recipes. So it looks God be glory. Because I was praying about that too. Because I saw her, adding things to other people's recipes and being like, hey, making suggestions and stuff. And I'm like, I like my recipe. I don't want no suggestions. I just want my perfume. So I prayed about it, and next thing I know, everybody was approving my stuff. So I said, good, good, because that's what I want my perfume. But anyway, yeah, man, I was smelling all the different fragrances, and like I said, they had a nice atmosphere, music. It just was a good little time. But then afterwards, y'all, that's when things went to another level. Next thing we noticed that our party was the last party there. And so we're talking to the owner and listening to her story she's sharing. And see, I guess I'm kind of used to this because, especially with GSL, it seems like I'll spark a conversation, and then next thing I know, people are telling me their life story, which is fine. I have no problem, especially GSL, because that's what we're there for. We're here to, learn about people and their life, things of that nature. But we're sitting there, and the lady was sharing about some things she has going on in her family. She just was, sharing, and at some point, as she was sharing, I felt in my spirit, yeah, we need to pray. And so when I verbalized it, I want to say maybe midway of the conversation, whatever the case may be, my sister was saying I was thinking the same thing. And so we're trying to encourage her and things of that nature. And we did end up praying and things. And then after the prayer, we're noticing that, there's tears flowing and all of that. And so to God be the glory that the spirit can move wherever you are, man. You know, shout out to me, my sis, I started the prayer, she wrapped up the prayer. I did, try to look, humble myself with the men folk in the room. I try to make sure that the men folk, if they wanted to pray, they, go ahead and, lead us off. But, and I understand that other people have their own ideas and practices, things of that nature. But everybody was humbled in that moment to come together, pray for everybody there. And it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And like I said, it's gonna be something I never forget. I'm assuming that the owner will probably never forget it either. But just lifting people up, man. And I mean, we was there. I don't think I got home until maybe like 1 or something crazy like that. And my husband was still up. He said waiting on me slash coding and doing his work things and whatnot. But it was a beautiful night, man. It was a beautiful, beautiful night. And so I woke up the next morning and went and did work, worked at the church. And I did get a chance to sit in the service. So I worked two of the gatherings, and things like that. Like I said, I'm really proud of our current set design for our Glow in the Dark series. I think it came together really well. It's beautiful. To me, it's a beautiful display. Um, of not just to fit the theme of glowing in the dark, but I was kind of inspired by and I might be saying it wrong, the aurora borealis, which I have not seen in my real life. I've only seen photos, and I don't know if I've seen videos or not, like real videos. But um and if you guys don't are familiar with it, it's this natural phenomena that happens in the sky in a certain area. I can't remember exactly. I feel like it's over in Europe somewhere, but anywho, aurora borealis, I think they call it. And so I was inspired by that when it came to the globe. I wasn't thinking about like, I know they could use a glow party and stuff like that, but I don't know, something about that inspired me. And so I knew that we had this standee of the what's it called? The tomb. Sorry. I just wanted to say the right word, but yeah, of the Christ's tomb and whatnot. And so I just kind of imagined the sky with that beautiful glow and the tomb in front of it and things of that nature. And that's pretty much what it is. Again, I shared it on my social media. I don't remember if I put it on my Instagram yet, but I'm gonna try to do that because I know I told y'all the other day I was gonna try to put it out there for you guys to see on Instagram, but I'm gonna have to hold myself accountable today and try to go ahead and put it up so you guys can see, what we've created and things of that nature. Again, shout out to Brother Emmanuel and again his um, belief in me and my visions and ideas. I'm already trying to think about next month because we got to keep one up in ourselves apparently. Um, but yeah, man. So everything went well. I mean, the sermon yesterday was good as well. I know the pastor was talking a lot about pride and things of that nature, which actually kind of segues into this conversation in a way. Um, and his series that he's on right now is called One Hit Wonders, and so it's like all the different Bible um, chapters or whatever. There's only like one chapter, and so he started off with Obadiah and yesterday, and was talking a lot about pride and things of that nature. But so getting into this juice this morning, like how did I come to this conversation today? Well, one, like I said, I believe that this conversation about pride kind of segues because we have to humble ourselves in order to accept. things for what they are, right? Um, and things like that. So that's one thing. But then also, in particular, how I got to this conversation is, I'm just scrolling on social media. I came across this post that was talking about things to I can't remember right now, y'all, because I didn't go for my mind is so much. But it was like this little. It was basically something to encourage you to do something better. I can't remember what exactly it said. I did share it on my social media, so you might be able to see it on my Facebook. But anyway, it's this photo, and it had all these different little suggestions of things to do to enhance your life in some capacity. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, and at the bottom of it, it said, accept what is. And that really stood out to me this morning. I was like, yeah, that's good. Accepting what is. And I know that can be difficult, right? Because we're like, man, I don't want to accept what is. I might not like what is currently my situation, whatever it might be, but something about it really stood out to me. So then I listened to the prayer meditation this morning, and it was talking about courage. I felt like the word courage really stood out to me this morning. Um, it was talking about other things as well, but in the midst of it, the conversation included the word courage, and that's what stood out to me. And so that's where the title came from: the courage to accept what is. And ultimately, I was going deeper about this. Of course, I went to my regular places, openbible.info, gotquestions.org. But at some point, I think I was at gotquestions.org, and I was putting in my phrases like I do. And I noticed that this article about Esther just really was standing out to me to, read. And it was pretty much, of course, talking about, the if I perish, I'll perish quote and things of that nature. And that is, again, her accepting what is, still doing something as well, though. That's the thing. I think that's one of the difficult parts of accepting things, because sometimes we'll accept something and it'll be like, but then we think like, okay, I'm gonna accept it. I'm not gonna do anything to change my situation, whatever the case may be. And I believe that we have a lot of power to change our situations and the things. And again, our choices and the things we decide to do matters that much. Um, but some of us need to, again, like I said earlier, humble ourselves to accept what is. And I think the main thing that we need to accept today is that God is in control. I know we don't like to think that. We like to think that we're in control, right? And we are to a certain extent. You got all kinds of free will that the Lord has given us. So you can do whatever you want to do, you know? And I think our world shows that, clearly that, hey, you have the free will to do whatever you want to do. That don't make whatever you want to do the right thing to do. So again, we got to lay our pride to the side, humble ourselves to understand that, what, God is in control. And so what does this mean for me, right? What does this mean is that I got to either one, humble myself to, again, his authority, humble myself in different situations in those authorities. Um, it just can go on and on and on. But yeah, so I went deeper about this Esther story. Of course, the main quotes are standing out. If I perish, I've perished for such a time as this. All those different things were standing out, and I went deeper about looking into Vashti and King Xerxes, and all those different characters and whatnot as I was doing a deep dive. But once I started getting my verses and whatnot together, one, I'm going to share the ones that stood out to me. But before I do that, let me share with you guys an article. It's in the Go Deeper section, and you guys can read it on your own. I'm not going to say that it is a biblical source, because I don't think it is. I think it's like a blog for perhaps a therapy website or something like that. But I think there's something to some of the information that's there in regards to the 3 steps to accepting things and things of that nature. So you guys can check it out on your own. And again, chew up the meat, spit out the bones. I know it has a quote in there about the universe, and that we as believers believe that God is in control, not the universe. We don't. To me, the universe is the creation. So I'm not going to seek counsel from the universe. At the end of the day, I'm seeking counsel from the Lord. That's why I differ and stuff. So I'm just letting you guys know that type of stuff is in there. At least one quote I saw that mentioned the universe. But again, I believe that there might be some wisdom there to glean from. So if you feel led to, go check out the article. It's called Accepting Things as They Are, Why and How to Do It. I believe that again there was a lot of wisdom there. But one of the things that stood out to me to share right now is a quote that says, accepting things as they are means to let go of your expectations of how things should be. Instead, allow things to be what they are. That really stood out to me. I mean, for a lot of reasons. I feel like I'm making this observation of a lot of people in my life right now. And the difficult part for me is that again, with me going through my journey and the cultivation period and everything, and now that I'm in this place where I'm at literally accepting, things as they are and accepting that God is in control and not leaning to my own understanding, or at least I'm trying to, things of that nature, trying to be intentional about those things. And yes, it has brought me peace, joy, and other fruits of the spirit by doing that. And I'm out here trying to share that with others. Um, the hard thing for me is witnessing other people go through their journey, and it seems like they are just constantly fighting what is, they're constantly fighting that the Lord is in control. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm an example, man. Like at the end of the day, I'm a living witness and testimony that if you just humble yourself, right? If you just, you know, um, accept that the Lord is in control, and things of that nature, then you'll see a shift and change in your life. And for whatever reason, it seems like, and I'm not just talking about one person right now. I mean, I feel like there's at least a good handful of people around me right now that are operating in this example that I just given. And it's difficult for me because I'm like, well, Lord, I know in a lot of ways I might have the quote unquote answer because I've been through it and I'm trying to share it, all day and every day, right? But at the end of the day, people got to make their own decisions, and I understand that. And so, but it's difficult to watch, you know what I'm saying? And it's difficult to feel like again you have the answer, but but not being received or whatever the case may be. And again, it could just all be timing. Like maybe I'm planting seeds, maybe I'm watering some of those seeds that have already been planted. Who knows? Um, but yeah, at the end of the day, man, again, we need to have the courage to accept what is. And for me, again, the main thing when I'm talking about is that God is in control. I like that the article mentioned at the end that accepting what is doesn't mean you gotta like it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be going through again something, and it's out of your control, and you're like, and it could be like, man, Lord, it's beating me down or whatever the case may be. But again, it's not about like liking whatever it is. It's about acknowledging and understanding that, hey, some things is not my responsibility. Some things is again something that God needs to handle. um Matter of fact, I saw another quote just, I think it was this morning, that pretty much reiterated that, even though I guess I thought I might have shared it, but maybe I just saw it and scrolled apparently because I couldn't find it on my social media. But it pretty much was a reminder to me that, hey, some things again, the issue sometimes is that we're trying to do things that only God can do. um and so again, we just need to understand that, again, one, who's in control, and two, that it's okay to relinquish certain things to the Lord, because at the end of the day, certain things is only capable to be taken care of by him. Speaking of that, let me go ahead and give you guys some of these verses. Matthew 19:24, it says, but Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. There's plenty of verses that reiterate that in the Bible, y'all, and lets us know that, hey, man, there is nothing impossible with the Lord. A lot of things, or a lot of verses in the Bible tells us that, is there anything too hard for God and things of that nature? And for whatever reason, I think we might think that either we don't trust God, so we don't think that he has our best interests at heart, or um we don't think he's all powerful. Like we don't think he uh, can do the impossible and things of that nature. Um, Even though we can see in our own lives as well as biblical figures' lives that, again, even when I think about that story of Esther, one of the quotes that kept standing out to me today as I read different articles about it, was really reiterating the fact that God was not mentioned in the story of Esther at all. And I believe they said that that this is the only book that's in the Bible that God was not mentioning directly. But you can see his hand in the whole story, right? You can see, again, him orchestrating things through humans, right? To get his overall will done. And so, I mean, speaking to that, let's go ahead and go to the next verse, I think. It's Proverbs 19:21. It says, many are the plans in the mind of a man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. At the end of the day, again, if we humble ourselves to understand that, you know what, I need to accept that God is in control. And what he wants is going to be what's going to happen. Then, I mean, again, you can find peace. Like, I'm sitting here, I was telling one of the ladies at church yesterday about the situation with the car. And I'm like, hey, apparently the Lord want me to have another car. You know, I don't know if that sounds crazy to people, right? Again, my car was paid off. I would have been just fine if they had to just fix the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Even if they didn't fix the side of the car, I mean, it wasn't that bad, and stuff like that to me. But if the Lord wants me to have a new car and, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe he wants me and my husband to share, the car for a little while to do something. I don't know what the Lord, wants to do through the situation about me, quote unquote, losing my car, right? But I'm not worried about it. I'm not over here like, man, at the end of the day, my whole thing is like, well, again, the majority of what I do is from home. So that's a blessing. And then the things that I want to do or things that I have to do, like when it comes to the church, I mean, that's like 2 or 3 days out of the week at the moment. And we're going to see what the Lord do about all of these things. At the end of the day, I'm not worried about it. And that's the difference. When you're trying to take things in your own hands and you're worried about each and every aspect of it, you're like, oh, it ain't going this way, it ain't going that way. And you're stressing yourself out. Just like, I mean, the quote is, it is what it is. Sometimes it just is what it is. And I think, again, there's power in understanding that God is in control and that his plan is the ultimate thing, what's going to happen in your life. And now I believe that his plan is for good, but according to what we do and how we live, then that's going to, make the adjustments and whatnot, in the things that we don't fully know yet. But just something to think about. Let me go ahead and give you guys the last verse that I felt led to write down. And it was Philippians 4:6-7. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer, supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Friends, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I don't have anything else to really say because, again, one, just humble yourself to understand that, hey, sometimes it is what it is. At the end of the day, again, understand what it is that he's in control. And again, I believe that once we start to get that true understanding and live accordingly, then you'll see those things, probably your desires coming to fruition. Because at the end of the day, like the pastor told me back in the day, he didn't tell me personally, but it has made such impact in my heart and mind over all these years, is that when you make God's wants what you want, then you're gonna get what you want. And that's the juice, y'all. That is the juice. Now the Bible verse of today is First Chronicles 16:24. It says, declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you for those that listen, watch, subscribe, and share all those wonderful things. I don't have too long to talk to you guys because I actually got to go to a meeting with my virtual assistant. At least it's on the schedule. And yeah, it's 1 minute away. So let me go ahead and log off with y'all so I can log in with her. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye.